So is it my voice is audible to everyone? So now I try to share my screen also. My continue my session now. My continue my session. Is it my voice is audible to everyone? And is it my screen is visible to everyone or not? Please send me one message through chat box. Then I will start my session now. My continue my session now. Is it my voice is audible to everyone? Yeah, thank you. Okay, in the last class we are discussing about what is a transaction, what is a transaction management, and what are the properties of transaction. Okay, in this class we try to revise that first of all, and next we try to discuss about the states of transaction, and we know about the schedules. Okay, in the last class also I'm giving the assignment, so try to submit before end of the day. Okay, so sorry, you can submit tomorrow. So tomorrow date is June 5th. So you can submit your assignments to my mail ID. Okay, so that is my mail ID is mganeshbabu84@gmail.com. Okay, so I will try to send my mail ID also. Please try to check once if anyone don't know about this or maybe forget about that. samganeshbabu84@gmail.com. Okay, so please try to send your assignment and mention our on your assignment your roll number and name on each and every page. Okay, and please keep in that with you. So whenever college is open, then you need to submit in the college. Okay. Okay, now I'll try to start my session now. Okay, so just I'm opening the javapoint.com. So Java T point. So if you search in the Google Java T point DBMS, then the screen is like this. Okay, I hope all of the members able to know this. Am I right? So again, I try to open for you. So don't worry about that. Okay, so come to the Google and Java T point DBMS like this. Okay, so we are having so many online tutorials about the DBMS. So we need not to base upon to the college notes or maybe the lecturer notes. So we can directly go for to these sites. So these sites giving the explanation. So about everything within the short answers. Okay. So here I mentioned the what is first noun form, second noun form, third noun form, voice noun form. If you're having any type of the doubts, you can refer from this site also. Okay, and we are having another site that is nothing but tutorialpoints.com. So in that one also DBMS material is good. Okay, so now try to discuss about the transaction management. Right, so here I'm opening the transaction. Okay, so for in the last class we're already discussing about this, so just I am explaining in one word only. So the transaction, what is a transaction? So transaction is in the last class I'm saying about that logical actions of the logical a set of actions, right? So a set of actions is nothing but a transaction. So now what you see on the screen, the transaction is a set. The transaction is a set of logically related operations. So what is the transaction? It is a set of logically related operations or actions. It contains group of tasks. A transaction is an action or series of actions. Okay, it is performed by single user to perform operations accessing the contents from the data. Okay, suppose an employee of bank transfers the amount 800 rupees from X account to Y account. The small transaction contains several low-level tasks. So here the task is only transfer the amount of 800 rupees from X account to the Y account. Okay, so here involves so many subtasks or maybe the tasks. Okay, so transaction is nothing but a set of tasks. So here mentioned logical set of operations, logical operations. Okay, so now we try to see first of all here the main thing is transfer the amount from X to Y. So that amount is 900. So we need to open the account X first of all. So that means read operation. So open account of X. Okay, so try to check the old balance. So that means previous balance. Next new balance minus 800. Why? Because here we are deducting from X account, that is 800 rupees, that is transferred to the Y account. Am I right? So next, X balance equal to new balance. So that means we are deducting some amount. Now this account is closed. Okay, so these set of tasks performed in only one account. Okay, now so in Y account, open Y account, and old balance equal to verify, and new balance equal to, we are credited the amount 800 rupees is credited to the Y account, and saving that account and close that account. So that means these type of subtasks are involved in a small transaction. So what is that small transaction? Just only we are transfer the amount from X to Y, that amount is 800. So for that operation, for that transaction, here we need to perform so many operations. First we are open the X account, next verifying the balance, next deducting the amount, next close the balance and close the account. Again open the Y account, and so that account is credited with the 800 rupees and close that account Y. Okay, in this type of way, here each and every transaction having so many operations, or so in other words, so transaction is nothing but a set of actions. So maybe you are having some questions. So why this sir is explaining so many so many times about this transaction and transaction management? Why? Because in the exam point of view, we don't know in how many marks asking about to that question. For example, if that question is asking to 15 marks, then how you can write the answer? Actually, in that manner, not asking the question. For example, if the situation is happened, then how we can adjust that answer? So first of all, so whether it is a 7 marks or maybe 15 marks or 2 or 3 marks. So first of all, we try to elaborate the answer. So we need not to. So that is not a best way. So directly representing the answers. For example, asking transaction management. So then before explaining that, first of all, you try to explain what is a transaction. Okay, so example for the transaction. Okay, I hope all of the members able to see in the screen. I'm right. So I hope all of the members having some idea now. Okay, now we try to see the operations of transaction. So basically here we are consider the two operations. They are read and write. So we also know about what is the read and write. So read means nothing but retrieving the data, not performing any changes. Okay, so just only we are retrieving the data from the database. So we can allow any number of users at a time to perform the read operation. Okay, so here if you observe here, so read operation is used to read the value of X from the database and stores it in a buffer in a main memory. So that means we are retrieving the data from the secondary storage, and that can be stored into the main memory, and that can be placed into the some buffer. Okay, so next one is the write operation is used to write the value to the database buffer. So please just wait 1 minute. Please just wait 1 minute. I will continue. Actually, here I'm having some problem, so that's why. Okay, so I hope all of the members are able to see the screen now. Okay, so mainly here we are consider two operations. They are read operation and write operation. So read operation means nothing but we are retrieving the data from the secondary storage to the main memory in a buffer. Okay, in the case of write operation, so write operation is used to performing the changes on the data. Okay, and here we are committed to the disk. Okay, write operation is used to write the value back to the database from the buffer. Okay, so if you observe how, so here also we are giving some example. So read of x equal to x minus 100, and write of x. So that means here we are performing some changes. Okay, so let's take an example of debit transaction from an account which consists of following operations. Okay, first of all, we read the account and debit the some amount, and next changes return to the disk. Okay, for example, the above transaction, debit transaction fails after executing the operation 2, then x value will remain 4000 in the database, which is not acceptable by the bank. So if you observe here, so nothing but here we are mention about the, for example, if any failure is occurred, so during the execution of these transactions, so those above transactions are not considered according to the property of atomicity. We are already discussed in the last class. Okay, so now we try to discuss about what are the properties of transaction? In the last class also you're discussing about this. Okay. So what are the main properties of transaction? Transaction management or transaction properties: atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability. What is atomicity? If you observe here, atomicity means either all, successful, or none. So that means either consider all transactions, sorry, all actions of the transaction are not considered any one of them. So what is a consistency? Ensures bring the database from one consistent state to another consistent state. So ensures bringing the database from one consistent state to another consistent state. So isolation means ensures that the transaction is isolated from other transactions. So nothing but maintains the separation. Durability means once a transaction has been committed, it will be remain so even in the event of errors, power loss, or some other crashes, etc. Okay, it states that all operations of the transaction takes place at once. If not, the transaction is aborted. So there is no midway, that is transaction cannot occur partially. Each transaction is treated as one unit and either run to completion or not executed at all. So that means here atomicity involves following two operations. What are they? So one is the abort if transaction is in the middle of execution. If the transaction is successful, then commit the transaction. So once it is commit, then we can able to retrieve any number of times even the occurring failures. Okay. So in the last class, we are already discussing about the transaction management properties. So that's why I'm not explaining not explaining now. Okay. So for example, here we are consider we are considered two transactions. Okay, let us assume following transaction T consists of T1 and T2. A consists of 600 and B consists of 300. Okay, transfer the 100 rupees account from A to B. So that means here, if you are observe here, we are transferring the amount from one account to the another account. So here two accounts. So A and B, and A consists of. So let us assume here we are considered two transactions. A consists of 600 rupees and B consists of 300 rupees. Okay. Now transfer the 100 rupees from A to B. Then what is the balance of A? Actually 500. Now what is the balance of B? 200. Why? Because here we are here we are transfer the 300. So B account balance is 400 and A account balance is 300. Okay. Please try to observe now. Please try to observe now. So first transaction, read the account of A and deducting 100 rupees from the A and compute to the disk, write A. Okay, next read the B and that deducted amount is added to the Y and write B. Okay, after the completion of this transaction, A consists of 500. Why? Because here we are only deducting only 100 rupees from the A. So initial balance is 600. So now 500 and B consists of 400. Why? Because here we are adding another 100. So actually B is having 300. Okay. So this is the example for atomicity. So we're already discussing about the examples for the atomicity. I'm right. So now we'll try to discuss about the states of transaction. So this is same like as a process states. So we already know about the states of the process. What are they? New, ready, running, okay, waiting, suspended, so executed. So these are the states of the transaction. In the same way, here also, transaction is nothing but a series of actions. So the transaction is also in any one of the state. So initially, so it is in the active state. So if it is starts its execution in the partial completed state. So if it is completed, then committed state and end the transaction. So for example, if any type of the errors are occurred during the execution of transaction, so that is so failure state. So if it is not able to restart, then it is aborted. So that means one thing you to remember. So if any one of the transaction is failed, so then it will be automatically start by the DBMS after some time. So that means that will be rated as the new transaction. Okay. So here we are mainly consider the 5 states of the transaction. So when the transaction starts its execution, so that is in active state. Okay. So if it is completed some portion of the transaction, so nothing but each and every transaction having some list of operations. So we're already observed now by through the some examples. I'm right. So if it is executed some of the actions, so So that is in the partial completed state. Okay, if it is failure from that partial completed state, so that is in the failed state. Okay, if the transaction is aborted, so that is in the aborted state. So otherwise, the transaction is in committed state. Okay, in this type of we are consider the 5 states. So now we try to discuss about each and every one. So active state. Active state is the first state of every transaction. In this state, the transaction is being executed. So for example, insertion or deletion or updating a record is done here. So but all the records are still not saved to the database. So that means just only we are performing the updation. But if you are not performing using the commit, then there is not occurring the changes. Okay. So what is the meaning of partial committed? In the partial committed state, a transaction executes its final operation, but the data is still not saved to the database. In the total mark calculation example, a final display of the total mark step is executed in this state. So that means here we are not committed to the disk, here also partial committed. Okay, in the case of committed, a transaction is said to be committed state if it is executes all its operations successfully, then this transaction is in committed state. Okay, in this state all the effects are now permanently saved on the database system. Okay, next, failed state. Okay, if any of the checks made by the database recovery system fails, then the transaction is said to be the failed state. Okay, in the example of total mark calculation, if the database is not able to fire a query to fetch the marks, then the transaction will to execute. So that means here, if you are observing here during the execution of this transaction occurring some problem. So that's why it will be failure for the transaction. Okay. So if that failure is not able to recover, so that will be in the aborted state. So now I try to observe in the screen. If any of the checks fail and the transaction has reached failed state, then the database recovery system will make sure the database is in previous consistent state. If not, then it will be abort or roll back a transaction to bring the database into consistent state. So that means in some type of situations, so maybe the transaction in failure state and that will be leads to the abort state also. So why? Because it is not in the consistent state. Okay, please just wait. Okay, so in this type of way here, if any time of the situation we are not able to recover that failure state, so that will be leads to the abort transaction. So at the time of the situation, it will be so after aborting the transaction, the database recovery module will select one of the two operations. So that is one of the thing is restart the transaction or kill the transaction. So that means these two things are performed after performing the aborted state. Okay, I hope all of the members able to understood this. Okay, so that means here we are discussing about 5 states of the transaction. So what is that? So first of all, what is the active state? Okay, next it is in the partial completed state. So next, if it is successfully completed, so then it will be in the completed state. For example, if any failure is occurred, then it will be leads to the failure state. So if the failure state is continued up to longest period of time, so that will be in the aborted state. Whenever the transaction is in aborted state, then do the two things. So that is one is the kill the transaction or maybe restore the transaction. Okay, I hope all of the members able to understood this. So this is also same like as our process states. If you are observed clearly, so this is also same like as a process. Okay, so first of all, it is in the active state. So that means starts its execution but not completed to the disk. In the same way, partially completed state, some of the actions of the transaction is executed, okay, but not completed to the disk. In the same way, if it is executed successfully in the completed state, otherwise if it is having any type of the problems, then in the failure state. Okay, if that state is not recovered, so that is in aborted state. Okay, I hope all of the members able to clear now. Okay, so there is no difficulty to understand in the topic. Okay, so now we try to discussing about the schedule. So what is a schedule? So we already know about the schedule. So schedule means nothing but a, so I think in the operating system. So you are already discussing, I think you know about that. So what is the scheduling and what is a schedule? Am I right? So selecting a one process among the number of processes nothing but a scheduling, or decide which process is executed on the system. So that is also nothing but a schedule. Am I right? Schedule means nothing but a some plan. Okay. So for example, if you are ready for some exam, so then maybe if any member is asking what is the schedule for to attempt that exam, so then you can explain which type of subjects are you are studied already and which type of problems are you are prepared. Am I right or not? So this schedule means nothing but a plan in which type of we are complete the particular plan, okay, or execution. So now we try to see here also we are executing more than one transaction at a time. At the time of the situation, we also based upon the schedule. So that means selecting which transaction is suitable to execute on that time. So that is also referred as a schedule. So now we try to see on the screen. So a series of operations from one transaction to the another transaction is known as a schedule. So nothing but here we are a series of operations from one transaction to the another transaction. So that means, so after the completion of one transaction starts the another transaction. So that is nothing but a one type of schedule. In another type of schedule, so maybe so maybe so this is not nothing but interlude schedule. So before completes the execution of process starts the another process execution. Okay. So nothing but here a series of operations from one transaction to the another transaction is known as a schedule. It is used to preserve the order of operation each of individual transaction. Okay, here we are considered three types of schedules here. So one is the serial schedule, and another one is the non-serial schedule, and another one is the serializable schedule. Okay. So first of all, we try to see what is the serial schedule. So what is the schedule means? Schedule means nothing but we are selecting which type of transaction is allowed to start the execution. So that will be decided by the schedule. Okay. Here the schedules are in three types. So those are nothing but serial schedule and non-serial schedule and serializable schedule. Serial schedule, I think the name is implies. So nothing but follows the sequence. For example, if one is executed, next two, next three, next four, like that. So nothing but it is a serial schedule. Okay. In the case of non-serial schedule, we don't know which type of transaction starts its execution. Okay, here maybe the for example, maybe one transaction is executed, after that third one is executed, after that fourth one is executed, after that one maybe eighth one is executed, like this. So that means not maintains the order. So nothing but a non-serial. Okay. So another one is the serializable schedule. So that means if both of the schedules results producing the same type of value, so that is that is nothing but serial schedule. And now we try to see the example. The serial schedule is a type of schedule where one transaction is executed completely before starting another transaction. In the serial schedule, when the first transaction completes its cycle, then the next transaction is executed. So that is nothing but okay. So nothing but here, what is the meaning of serial schedule means after the completion of one transaction starts the execution of another transaction. So if the execution is in that manner, so that is nothing but a serial schedule. So nothing but if you observe here, suppose there are two transactions T1 and T2 where we have a sorry, which has some operations, it has no interleaving operations, then there were following the two possible outcomes. So execute the all operations of T1, which was followed by the operations of T2. Execute all of the operations of T1, and which follows by the operations 2. So in the given figure, the given figure A, schedule A shows the serial schedule T1 followed by T2. Okay, if you are observe the B, schedule B shows the serial schedule T2 followed by T1. If you observe here, please just wait. Please observe now. Okay, if you observe the screen now, T1 and T2, okay, read A and deducting some amount from A and write A, and read B and deducting some amount to, credited some amount to the B and write B. So in the same way, so in the case of T2, read A and A equal to A plus M and write A. So if you observe here, so in here, after the completion of T1 starts the execution of T2. So in the same way, if you observe the B, after the completion of T2, so starts the execution of T1. So that means here T1, T2 is followed by T1. Here T1 is followed by T2. Okay. So in that manner, so if we are observing this, so in the case of C, figure C, so this is nothing but a interleaved schedule. Okay. So then that means before completion of the another transaction starts the execution of another process. Okay. So this is same like as a nothing but operating system schedules. So we already know about the preemptive schedule and non-preemptive schedule. So what is the meaning of preemptive schedule? So before completion of the one process starts the execution of another process. Am I right? So that is nothing but a preemption. In the case of non-preemption, up to the completion of the one process execution, not starts the another process execution. So that means after the completion of one process execution only starts the execution of another process. Okay. So that is nothing but a preemptive and non-preemptive. In the same way, here also we are discussing about that serial and non-serial. Okay, in the case of serial schedule, so here, so A shows the serial schedule T1 followed by T2 and T2 followed by T1. Am I right? So now we try to discussing about the non-serial schedule. So that is nothing but a interleaved schedule. So if interleaving of operation is allowed, then there will be a non-serial schedule. It contains many possible orders in which the system can execute the individual operations of the transactions. Okay, in the figure C and D, schedule the C and schedule D, non-serial schedules, it has interleaving operations. If you are observing here C, so read A and deducting some amount from the A, and again read A and credited some amount to the A. Now write A, so and close the B. Okay, sorry, read the B and write A, and B equal to B plus N and write B. So nothing but this is nothing but A. So before completion of one transaction starts the execution of another transaction. So that is nothing but a non-serial schedule. So the C and D diagrams are the examples for non-serial schedule. Okay. Okay, now we try to test the serializability. So up to now, we are discussing about what is a serial schedule and what is a non-serial schedule. What is a serial schedule? In the case of serial schedule, start the nothing but after the completion of one transaction execution only starts the another process execution. So that is nothing but a serial schedule. Am I right? But in the case of non-serial schedule, starts the execution of one process before the completion of another transaction. Am I right or not? So now what is the serializability means nothing but if you are executing one transaction in either serial schedule or maybe the non-serial schedule. If it is produce the same result, so then maintains the serializability. So that type of the schedule will be referred as a serializable schedule. Okay. So now we try to see. Please just wait 1 minute. Please just wait 1 minute. Here I will try to show. So here we are consider the three types of schedule: serial schedule and non-serial schedule. Now we try to consider the serializable schedule. So what is a serializable schedule? So the serializability of schedules is used to find non-serial schedules that allow the transaction to execute concurrently without interfering with one another. So it determines, so it identifies which schedules are correct when executions or transaction have interlink of their operations. A non-serial schedule will be serializable if it is result is equal to the result of its transaction executed serially. So that means here we are compare the two schedules, so serial schedule and non-serial schedule. If these two are executing the same transactions and the result is also same, so that means so these type of transactions maintains the serializability. Okay, I will try to say again. So if the result of serial schedule and non-serial schedule is same, so then those type of transactions maintains the serializability. Okay, so now we have to verify that answer. Okay, here schedule A and schedule B are the serial schedule, and schedule C and schedule D are the non-serial schedule. So for example, if the result of A and B is equal to the C and D, so then these two transactions maintains the serializability. Okay, so next to try to test. So how to we are testing the serializability? In the exam point of view, also asking this question number of times. Okay, first of all, serialization graph is used to test the serializability of schedule. Assume the schedules S. For S, we construct a graph known as a precedence graph. This graph has pair G equal to VE. So nothing but vertices and edges, where V consists of set of vertices and E consists of set of edges. So the set of vertices is used to contain all the transactions participating in the schedule. Okay, the set of edges used to contain the edges. So for which one of the three conditions hold. Okay. Okay, we will try to discuss about this topic in the next class. So actually here today I'm having some network issues, so that's why I'm not able to communicate you properly. Please don't try to misunderstand. Okay, so I will try to discuss the same topic in the next class. Why? Because this is very important topic. So actually we are not having the time now to discuss about that. Okay, in the next session I will try to start with the how to we are testing the serializability. Okay, why? Because in the exam point of view, giving some transactions and verify so whether these two transactions are maintaining the serializability or not. So in the same way, in the competitive exams also asking the same questions. So that's why we need to give some reference for to that topic. Okay, so we having any type of the doubts in the previous topics in that manner. So today we are discussing about the states of transactions and schedules of the transactions and properties of the transactions and examples for the transactions also. So if you having any type of the doubts, you can ask me now. Otherwise, I will end the session today. In the next session, so I will discuss about the so how we are testing the serializability. So in the next class, better you try to prepare and prepare to stay with the book and pen. Why? Because that is also a small calculation. Okay. So I end my session now. If you having any type of the doubts, you can ask me. Otherwise, I will end the session. And don't try to forget to submit the assignment. So before tomorrow, 5 o'clock p.m. Okay. So and you please mention your roll number at the same time your name also. Okay. May I end my session now? Okay, thank you, all. Take care all of you.